Hello everyone, my name is Binks and welcome back to Let's Play The Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. We're continuing in the third case of the game. Something about the Great Departed Soul. Why can I never remember? It's a long title. The Return of the Great Departed Soul, which, now that I read the title... after last episode, it just confirms my suspicions even more. Oh my god. Oh my god, they freaking gave it away. Oh. Oh. Oh, they were not hiding it at all, were they? They're totally talking about Kazuma. Holy crap. Oh my god, it is him. They did not wait long, did they? I mean, Ryunosuke figured it out pretty quickly. I figured it out pretty quickly. The title gives it away. Damn, y'all. Damn. Okay, at least they're not dragging it out. I mean, we had to wait. He died pretty early on in the first game, you know? And they waited until case 3. So, yeah, let's not drag it out. Let's have him back. I miss him. I miss him. Oh my god. It has to be him. Holy crap. My baby. Oh my Kazuma. Holy shit. Immediately after I recorded this, this episode, I had messaged my friend Smooth. I'm like, dude, I think he's alive, but I'm not 100% sure until they take the mask off. But like, oh my god. And he gave like this great non-spoilery response of, LOL, and like, just keep playing. You know, it's great, you know? And I appreciate that. You know, that's all I really want, you know? Just like, laugh at me and just like yeah, man, just like I'm glad you're having fun. Keep playing on, you know? Ah, that's all you can do. All right, local prison, cell 2. Because I'm just gonna freak out. I'm just gonna freak out at my friends. But they, you know, don't confirm anything. I just have to get it out. The warden said cell 11. Oh, 11, not 2. Dubbings. That's this one.
Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner. Look.
What's his name again? Professor Albert Harebrain, wasn't it? Oh, I have to come up with a voice for him. Oh, I don't know. My mind is so freaked out by Kazuma. Oh, I haven't thought of a voice for you, sir. Sorry. You had a funny voice too. Excuse me, Professor Harebrain. He's such a goofy dork too. Oh, I wish I had like the perfect goofy voice for you. Dang nabbit. And I voice so many characters usually in this game too that it's like I don't even know what to do for you. British accent. No accent. German, because you did go to German. No, because then I'm already doing German for Von Zeeks. Dang nabbit. If only I could like emulate the voice you had during the cutscene, because that was a great voice. Excuse me. Ugh, it's so hot, it makes me sleepy. It was such a like a what was it? I wish I could listen to it again because it was so it was such a great voice. Who are you? Like a really weird um dang do I have like a dorky voice? I don't really have a dorky voice, do I? Not really. I usually have like a default voice for like a Larry type, but not like a nerdy. I kind of didn't want to give you like a nerdy. I guess I could just go nerdy.
Who are you?
I guess. I mean, that's like the easiest thing. Since I don't really have like a pain to compete with. Sorry, that's all I can do for you. I don't really have like another pain nerdy voice, so that's all I can do for you. It doesn't super suit you, but it's the best I can do. I'm Rinosuke Naruhodo, a lawyer. Oh, this your song? Okay. So I guess this is your music. Interesting.
A lawyer?
Was it something I said?
A lawyer, you say? Oh, would you be here about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis?
Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't...
Yesterday's demonstration! That magnificent demonstration was... It was an out-and-out success by anyone's calculations. But despite that, no one listens. No lawyer believes in the science. When it's explained, they all leave at high velocity. Ah.
Okay. Now's probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave for a while, too. Okay. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday?
The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he? Ah! Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense. The experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success.
You've lost me.
I saw it with my own eyes. Right there in front of me, Mr. Asman was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However,
the machine exploded and Mr. Asman, in fact, perished.
Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure.
So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Asman was an accident, correct?
But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder. I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And as for that, I wish to be punished at once. But... Murder! Never in a million years! It was an accident! Simply an accident!
I see.
Shirley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder.
How exactly? I mean, it would be involuntary manslaughter, right?
Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody.
On what grounds?
Ah, yes, it's newly established here in Britain. The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act.
That one passed me by.
But if the case is treated as murder...
Oh, that's her voice, sorry.
Then they'll say my machine was the murder weapon and they'll be able to pour over it as much as they like.
So that's why they're doing this then, right? Interesting.
If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made and then... they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative this whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial.
Ah, I see now. Interesting. In fact, it almost feels like, yeah, like they're doing it on purpose. To steal his idea of the machine, right? So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition showground yesterday.
Yes, or rather no, the devil's in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion.
Sounds the same to me.
You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating. Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, using a sufficiently high voltage, to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see? That's my amazing hypothesis.
Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. What's with this motion? He looks so weird.
Oh, but dare to imagine it. Dare to dream of such incredible technology. Oh. Just think. One moment I could be here in this cell, and the next I could be at the Great Exhibition again. Whoa!
Well, yes, that would be incredible.
And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at a great Parisian theater, say? The possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet would be within reach.
So, no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days.
I don't really see it like that.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk. My word, that's exactly right. Oh, what are the implications? What does this mean? Oops, that's got Professor BUNNYBRAIN really worried by the look of it.
Clearly, this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose.
The point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works. But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. And that's always the fly in the ointment. Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it, yes. Shirley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science. Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Assman.
The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? Okay, the Reaper's varsity years. I understand Lord Von Zieks is a friend of yours from your university days.
Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science.
What was he like back then?
A good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, and all around nice fellow, really.
I kind of ship it now. Binks, stop looking for ships. Hey, I kind of see it, alright? I think it'd be kind of cute. Nerdy science guy. Big tough prosecutor guy. Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cute, actually. Opposites attract and all. I could see that. Kind of want to see them next to each other, interact with each other in order to really help solidify the idea. Sorry, I think you misheard me. Escape, please. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor Barack Von Zieks. What was he like when he was at the university?
Talk about a leading question, Runel. As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the Van Zieks family with all its great aristocratic origins.
Little darling, you say?
I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood.
Noble, you say? Little darling.
It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less.
Yes, that's right.
I did hear, though, there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation.
Really? What sort of event?
Tell me. I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already.
Dang it. Oh, yes, of course. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Von Zieks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow.
Oh. He would be heartbroken to know his friend is kinda being against him now. You poor thing.
The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. O.D.S. Mann. O.D.S. Man, whatever. Wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man?
He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars.
I see. So you hadn't really known each other until then.
Money for scientific research. I'm so envious. As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel.
You seem so naive, don't you? Poor thing.
Oh, really? An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support from my research from the British government. Mr. Asman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications. But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion.
You're too trusting.
As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Asman. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life.
Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. Yeah, there's no motive here. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying? You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct?
As correct as 2 squared is 4, I swear it. Yes, it's true that the man perished in a machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life, not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science, it's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that, all my life.
I'm afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories. But I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law. That's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Rinosuke.
When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything.
Thank you for that, Professor.
And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. All right, Reno. It's time. Time to visit the Great Exhibition.
Sorry?
Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it?
Yeah, we have to look at the crime scene. Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. Do we have to present something to him? I mean, I guess not. Let's just go. It'd be kind of awkward.
Poor Professor BUNNYBRAIN, but don't worry. We'll come to your rescue.
Let's go then. Crystal Tower. What is that? Looks like a piece of something. Oh, I guess from the explosion, huh? The Great Exhibition Grounds, foot of the Crystal Tower. Ugh, showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. Yeesh. We've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I felt myself swooning 3 times.
There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost been trodden on 3 times, too.
Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. Aw. We finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are, underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. The frick? What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. Sounds like an argument. Cutscene? Oh! Right, I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute. Hey, Ginny! What's up, girl? Long time no see. She looks different. A little older, maybe? Well, it's been 6 months, right? She looks different. Hey, she looks good. Oh, it's been forever.
Oh yeah? Go on then, Spectre. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence, and you know it.
Wait, I know those voices. You've got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady. But a night in the cells will teach you some manners.
Just try it, I dare ya. If you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat.
Those two. How did they become a duo like this?
Yoo-hoo! Grexy! What are you doing up there?
Oh, he'll come running for you. Oh. Oh. It's you. Here. You're here. You're here. You. Here. Your ladyship. How he changes for her all the time. How are you, your ladyship? Oh, do you hope you're well, your ladyship? Does that make her 3 times a lady?
I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. Make all these people go away. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue.
Unbelievable. I'll go and have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you. Wow. Tobias Gregson. Oh, he looks so different for her. An inspector at Scotland Yard. And a simp for her. No. I mean, he's kind of, but not really. I mean, it's the power of money. Because she gives him money and stuff. It's a respectful thing. It's not gross at all. Even though it feels like it. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now. Oh yeah, I forgot he did get in trouble because he did some bad things, didn't he? I did forget about that. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely. Or there should be. Watch it, sunshine. Sorry. What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case.
Yes, I'm acting for the defense.
So, we're here to investigate.
Dear me, that's the situation, is it?
Is it really that troubling?
A measly 5 bob. Is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't ya? You could stand to carry a bit more copper around in your pockets, Mr. Nara Odo.
Well, hey, that's my last bit of spending money, that is.
You can have it back, but I'll have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob.
Oh, come on, Ginny.
This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket or diver, born and bred in the East End of London.
She does look taller.
In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was defending in court.
What's your problem, eh, Otto? Diver? Pickpocket? What's with all the name calling?
She could hear all his mental.
You want a bag of chips rammed down your throat and all, do ya?
I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here at the showground.
That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Otto. Half a year's a long time. People can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective.
Really? Well, that makes sense, because in the books, Lestrade is one of the detectives, so makes sense.
So you'll have to call me whatever everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now.
Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely.
The inspector part isn't entirely accurate, no one calls it that. For what it's worth anyway, investigating is off the cards for all of us.
What's that supposed to mean?
Right, well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here, alright?
Right, sir.
This raises a lot of questions.
So now he has an apprentice, and Van Zieks has an apprentice. What is going on? Everybody has an apprentice up in here. Okay. Interesting. Aw.
Oh look, what's this? A ripped piece of cloth?
It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. Looks extremely durable.
It's canvas, I think, with some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to be a bit charred as well.
Maybe that means it had something to do with the explosion.
Let's make a note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn.
Torn piece of canvas-like material backed with rubber that was found under the experimentation stage at the exhibition grounds. There are scorch marks at the edges. Okay.
For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. Almost as if there was a fire here or something.
Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers too.
Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this would have been.
I'm not sure we English have quite that laid back, Runo. Ah, it looks as though somebody dropped something behind the tree just here.
Dropped or hid?
Crossbow?
What is this? Some part of the machine that exploded?
Maybe. It could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps.
What's going on here?
Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case.
Mysterious contraption. Very curious device found behind a tree under the experimentation stage at the exhibition grounds. Almost as if it had been hidden there deliberately. Us hiding evidence from the cops, of course.
Crystal Tower. Certainly an apt name. It's built to be the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is, being so tall and with all that glass. Can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan.
There are lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum.
My goodness.
But I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors.
Well, at the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment may well be the biggest draw.
And thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut.
Suddenly, it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower.
Apparently, everyone's taken to the skies now to look down on the disaster area from above instead. But there's a 3-hour queue to go up in a balloon now.
Londoners must be very patient people.
Jesus.
Those stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted.
Oh, I didn't think we could. Sorry. The Great Exhibition Grounds, experimentation stage. I didn't think we could.
So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up.
Ooh, it must have been a magnificent explosion, and I've seen my fair share.
You've seen things like this before, you mean?
Of course, Shirley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry.
Ah, that might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting upstairs.
One time he made something that exploded with such force it took the roof off the building. I wish you'd been there to see it, Runo.
It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof.
Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate.
No, it's time to go back down. Oh, no. I didn't mean to come up here. Dang nabbit.
Look, Inspector Gregson is over there. Seems to be deep in thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machine carefully.
Really? He just looks confused to me.
Let's go back down, shall we? How do we go back down?
If you let your concentration slip, you might miss what people say.
How do I go back down?
How do I go down?
No, how do I go down? Oh, I did not mean to come here. I did not mean to come here and... Let me just move. Shoot. We'll be back. Maybe? Yeah, okay. Okay. That's how I do it. Come here, and now I can talk to her. I was like, oh no. Did we finish looking around? I'm not clicking on the stairs again. That's where the cave ended up. That's where the cave ended up after is instant kinesis or whatever they call it. Dead, of course.
And yet they're calling the experiment a success?
What's the wooden scaffold there for?
The coppers, our lads, set that up after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. No, really?
Didn't you help to erect the scaffold then?
Nah, lookout duty's more my thing. Wandering around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff.
Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that, or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible, though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis?
Okay. Alright, let's talk to her then.
It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina in connection with the case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder.
I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realised I couldn't go on like I was. The diving weren't working out.
Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done.
How long was she there for? In those 8 months?
So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective?
You got it. Good, isn't it? Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of a book, eh? Yeah.
Talk about a sea change.
And then there's Iris's old man to think about.
Iris's father, you mean?
Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces round the world to pull out all the stops looking for him.
Just a small promise then, nothing serious.
Oh, Ginny, you're so sweet.
So anyway, that's how come I had a go at the test for Scotland Yard. And the trouble is, I don't read so well, do I?
Just a small problem, nothing serious.
And that's when Shirley approached Gregson and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Ginny and made her a sort of apprentice.
That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson, and very brave.
Well, you know Shirley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants.
The great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words.
So the long and short of it is, if you've got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade.
Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there?
Oh, what? We know what?
Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper.
Yeah.
A trial in which she was found not guilty, and yet here she is still.
Come on, you're not still on about that, are you? The Legend of the Reaper, or whatever it's called. Cool, you don't have to worry, Odo.
If I didn't have to worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left.
It's like I told you before, isn't it? The Reaper's kinda like him upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside, that I ain't really done nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong might be stretching a point.
What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he?
Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought.
Exactly. So, I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. Okay. Yesterday? Cool. It was out of this world, it was. The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on his machine and suddenly it started billowing smoke. Then it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment here yet.
Sorry?
You mean you saw it, Ginny? With your own eyes?
Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't he? Of course everything running smooth, I mean.
The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's going to take some getting used to.
So all I have to say is that I'm on duty and I can do whatever I want to. Get this, I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. Watch you be a witness during the trial.
No, you're so lucky, Ginny. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too.
Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in his place already, alright, Iris? You'd have no trouble at all.
Then it's settled. When do I start?
No, you can't join Scotland Yard, Iris.
We'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor BUNNYBRAIN still be claiming that his experiment was a success?
Oh, right. Well, it was a success, in a way.
It was? How can it have been?
Okay.
Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success.
It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke in that whooping great bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the Crystal Tower over there.
What? In the tower?
You can see for yourself, can't you? Up there above the scaffold.
Oh, where all the glass is broken, you mean?
Yeah, the cage what the victim got in to start with really did get beamed through the air or whatever and landed all the way over there. So you see, it did kind of work, didn't it?
What? I don't believe it.
I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Oh, I'll tell you what, you can have this. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go on. I had 3 bob off here before, so fair's fair.
Yes, I didn't actually give that to you, did I?
Okay. Cool. I guess we're literally paying for our information.
Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange.
Yeah, investigating's off the cars for all of us. What do you mean?
Yes, naughty old Gregsy ran off after that without explaining himself.
Oh, right, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday.
Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant.
In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations?
Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither.
Why?
What did the boss call them again? The forensic investigation team, I think. Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, isn't it?
So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate. Yes, I've never heard something like that before.
I thought I could have a gander on the quiet though, but the boss caught me at it. You probably heard him giving me an earful about it before from down here, didn't ya? It's not bleeding fair.
I think you were giving him as much of an earful back as I remember it.
Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what make him so stubborn. You say something to him, Otto. Go on, see if you can get through to him.
He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is.
We can try, can't we, Reno? Gregsy will listen to us.
You can try. Alright. So now we know. Sorry. Let's go. We can go up. Alright, so now we know we can talk to him here, but we will do that in the next episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this, and until next time, have a nice day. Bye-bye.